Hello!
Oh,
Look! Hello!
here we are.
Hey! We found
Sort of
it!
worked. Sorry, we've been experimenting.
We got
And,
there in the end. We had a cameo. We had a sneaky old cameo, didn't we?
We did. So,
We don't want to give away our special guest, should we?
well, I think everyone knows who's seen the promo so far. But
Yeah.
I guess
We've got a special visitor, Soorian, joining us after.
Yes.
From Futaba Australia.
Yes.
We're going to talk all things 10px and awesomeness. They've
That's
just
right.
dropped their brand new radio. Yes, we did have like a prototype or pre-release version, but it's finally come to Australia's shores.
Yes.
Yeah, check out us and your local hobby shops for those. But yeah, we'll get him on in a second. Episode 102, Beach.
102. Two more than 100.
We're a fair way off the. I can still taste the coffee from the 100th.
Can you? You still smell it.
It's good, isn't it?
It's good.
What else have we got?
That's good fun.
We've got Marlon coming on.
We have.
Look at this. We've got a little bit of got some things here.
Yeah. We've got it set up. We've got this funky little car of the day.
Can I call it a truck of a day or a van of a day or a bus of a day?
We
Or
can call it a square thing of the day.
it's not a car of the day, but it's something of the day.
Yep.
What's this? Have you been working on modelling again?
Well, that's going to be something we talk about with Marlon a bit later.
All right. I'll put that down then.
All right, so welcome everyone. That was a bit of an interesting start, wasn't it? Okay, so with the car of the day, or the truck of the day, or the square thing of the day, what do we need to know?
We need to know the colour,
Yep.
the make, the model,
Yep.
the scale, the weight. The curb weight would be good. Does it in fact run on diesel, hybrid, or unleaded?
Oh, you're asking a bit much now, aren't you?
Well, I don't know.
Well, this is going to be a bit of a challenge because it's so small. Even I can barely see this. So if you can work all that out, that'll be great. We'll be coming back to see. Oh, so Stone Farmer thinks it's a trolley of the day.
Trolley of the day.
Trolley of the day.
Could
All
well
right,
be a
excellent.
trolley of the day.
All right, so what are we going to do now?
The Stone Farmer must be American.
He is. He's from California.
Is it?
Yes.
Because we call them trams.
We
Don't we?
do.
Is that right, Marlon? Trams. Anyway. Well, how about we talk trains?
Yeah, let's call Marlon in.
Marlon,
Yeah.
come on.
I thought we were going to talk trams.
Trams.
Trolley it
trains.
is.
Trolley
Marlon.
cars. Trolley
There you go.
cars. Is that a thing?
Trolley cars, street cars,
Street car. What?
named Desire.
Really?
Yeah.
What have you got for us today, Marlon? Welcome.
I've got a
Yes,
guest already. A guest from a guest.
We do have a guest, but what's the guest?
So Nick thinks it's an ice cream truck.
An ice cream truck. Well,
It could be.
I
if
can't
you
tell from.
converted it.
I can't tell from here.
I think that if you can guess the vehicle of the day, then you are.
It's
You're incredible.
definitely not an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
No ice cream in there.
No ice cream for you, Beach. You've had enough.
What do you mean? I'm going to have an ice cream later. That's it for that.
Yeah. Sorry, Marlon.
No, it's okay. No need to be sorry.
Let's talk rail.
Let's talk rail.
I'm
So,
super excited.
Trams.
I'd love to learn when you're on.
That's good.
So we've been talked about we talked about N
yes.
class, we talked about HO, we talked
Mhm.
about some scenery in the past 3 or 4 episodes. What have we got here?
Well, we just freshly arrived today, a
Mhm.
restock of the Kui Classics brand. They're double O gauge trams.
Double.
And they're the iconic W class trams.
Looks like Plugger.
Yeah, it's just like Plugger. Plugger's based on this. So these are the quintessential classic Melburnian tram,
Yes.
which are still in circulation doing the city loop.
It does the number 35, doesn't it?
The most comfortable tram that I mean, the seats are so like cushy and the,
Yes.
the
They've done a
cushioning
good job
job
with
thing.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they smell like an antique store because
they?
it's kind of like a rolling antique store in a way.
Well,
It's
it's
not-
better than the modern ones. They smell like anything but an antique.
No, but it's all wooden craftsmanship inside.
Really?
Yeah, so they're really nice.
I
don't know if
can't
you've been on
remember the
one
last
for a
time
while.
I even went on one.
I used to catch a tram all the time when I was going to high school.
What, did you catch one of those free ones?
Not a free one. I had to pay for it.
Oh, because those
'Cause
old
if you
ones
didn't
now
pay,
they're
then
free.
the ticketing inspector came and threw you off.
Because these old ones, they're only W class now. It's freebie, isn't it?
No,
the
it's,
City Circle
it's
tram.
free in the CBD. Once you leave that, you're
There you go.
okay. But yeah, these used to be the only ones that were free. But anyway, so
Yeah.
W class tram.
But that's back in the day when you had to pay because they never were that colour, were they?
Yeah.
The circles were never this colour before, were they?
Well, it wasn't City Circle before. It was Melbourne. I don't know the exact name, but like the original Melbourne Tram Network, and this is the color scheme that they used.
MTB
MTB. That's it. Melbourne Tram
Bureau.
Bureau. And yeah, this was the original scheme that they had.
I'm making it up.
And maybe
I feel like I'm getting the wool pulled over my eyes.
Is your cat made out of wool?
Well, it could be.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's a nicely detailed little model. You know,
Yeah, it's
we're
beautiful.
going to
And
have a
that
closer
goes-
look at
on the
it.
top.
So it's
Yeah.
called a tram.
Yes,
It's 00 scale, but it goes on train tracks.
correct.
That's weird.
So I had an interesting discussion with somebody about this because this is an Australian model,
Yes.
and Australian model railways are modeled in HO scale.
Yep.
And 00 is exclusively British. And I'm like, well, why would they release it in that scale? So it's 1:76, so a little bit larger scale factor than HO. And I was informed that a lot of people who like trams also collect things like buses and trucks, and that's a more predominant scale. So I think that they made the decision based around that kind of a collector market more than somebody who might be into model railways specifically. But either way, like even if you are modeling HO, the scale difference isn't so significant that I think it would be a problem. And I also don't believe anybody makes a running version of this in HO.
No, no one else does.
But yeah,
Do
you've
they
got
do it in N scale?
they don't. But that would be really lovely to see.
Well, that's a shame. 'Cause
Oh, that
I was-
moves.
Yeah.
I was excited to do an N scale thing, but now I don't because I like a tram.
So this has got the very classic. What do you call these things again?
Pantographs, I think.
Pantographs, yeah. So basically, the pantograph connects onto the power line on the top, and whenever the train driver went to the end of a route, you'll need to get off, go to the other side,
And then put that up.
release the rope, and guide it back onto the power.
Don't they still have to do that now?
They
No,
still
they-
have to do it.
No,
don't
no,
they?
they're automated. So some of the
It's like having electric windows in your car.
if you have a close look at the 35 W class, it's got a single pantograph on it from memory, which is automated type 1 spring-loaded ones. So I don't need to do the.
You're just a tram file, aren't you? You love it. Oh, this guy. Undercover tram watcher.
What file did you call me?
Foamy.
Oh.
Is that it? Foamer.
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 It's
What?
sensitive words for some people. So, but anyway, you've got nice details like mirrors and you know, a pilot. You know, it's not-
Pilot.
well, they call it a pilot on the front of a cowcatcher pilot, I guess, to stop things from going under the front wheels,
That's a people.
i.e.,
catcher.
people. You know, wiper, functioning headlight, to my knowledge, and just really nicely detailed all around.
Functioning
Numbered,
headlight, to your
functioning
knowledge.
headlight, to my
Well,
knowledge. We're gonna
well,
find
I
out when
hope
we
that
run
we
it.
can put that. I hope we can put that unknowingness to bed.
Well, we know, don't we? Because we were driving at a million miles an hour before.
I felt naughty. I thought you would definitely tell me off.
Yeah, well, no, you're fine. We had an emergency stop button. I've got a fail safe for you, Brett. I've got a fail safe.
That's right.
But
What shall
I'll,
we do? Shall we put it on the
no,
track?
and then do you want to look at the other ones first? I'll put
Oh,
this on the
okay,
track.
yeah,
we'll,
yeah.
we'll make that the grand finale. How about
All
that?
right,
Alright.
okay, we'll put it on the track.
And then maybe we'll trust Brett with it. I'm not so
No,
sure
I
anymore.
wouldn't.
So let's have a look at these. So
That's an N scale one. You said they
Oh,
don't
we
make
will.
them.
That's
will.
fine.
Hang on.
Well,
Oh.
it's an N scale working part.
we'll take the case
That's
off,
a
I think.
restaurant one.
It is. So these are produced by. If I can get it off, I'll be very delicate with it.
Oh, that's got a little hooky bit on the bottom.
Oh, there
Oh,
we
you got
go.
it.
I figured it out.
Oh. Well done.
So these are static display. So basically,
do
same
you mean?
tram, but with all of the running gear taken out of it. So it's just a display model, but with the same level of detail as the running tram. So significant reduction in price. And if you were interested in owning just a nice scale model of a Melbourne tram in a nice display case, this is a really good option.
Mhm.
And because it doesn't have the running gear in it as well, there's actually depth to the interior, whereas that you probably saw was half filled with the running gear, the motor and gearing and such.
So Stone
So-
Farmer says they have them running in San Francisco. Various ones from around the US have been brought in. And the ones in San Francisco are cable cars, aren't they? They've actually got a cable underneath the road.
I
which
think
it
so.
rips onto.
To my knowledge, yeah,
Yeah.
they're not actually like the power. There's no power unit. It's
Yeah.
like they have
They get dragged around.
yeah, cabling hoist system. I haven't
Yep,
been
yep.
I haven't been on one of those, but I think they're really cool.
Mm.
But I think that when they sold a huge surplus of these, a lot of them did get exported to the US.
Yep.
So there are W class trams all over the world now. Maybe not necessarily running, but I remember they were practically giving them away.
Really?
Well, I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people know that Melbourne has the largest tram network in the world. So they've been running all
You
those.
can never find one in when you want one, though.
So W classes go back, I don't know, they must be the 1920s, 1930s, right?
Yeah, about
And
that.
so were a lot of them around. And when they started upgrading them, there were so many that they were actually giving them away. If
What do you mean?
anyone had a good reason to have one, they were giving them away. The government was giving them away.
But
For
then-
schools, anything educational. Yeah.
But you had to deal with the logistics of moving something of this size and weight
That's right,
yourself.
man.
So,
Look, you can't really drive it to you.
Just tow it
You
behind
go
the
right.
gate.
but yeah, I mean, this is an iconic one. The restaurant tram, for those who don't know, is like a dining experience around Melbourne via tram.
Oh, it was. It
It
recently
was
just got, before COVID, that finished up.
Oh,
because
did it?
So,
They wouldn't renew the lease.
That's
right.
unfortunate, but it was really quite nice to see. They had nice lights around, like it was distinctive. Like you knew the restaurant tram when you saw it.
Yeah.
It
And
was
in fact,
sneaky.
It was sneaky, and then on the inside, there's actually tables modeled with decals of what looks like cutlery and plates and things like that. So that's really nice. If anybody had like a positive experience with
Well,
the
I'm glad it's not
restaurant
loose
tram.
cutlery the way you're waving it around.
No, it's,
You're on the floor.
it would be. But yeah, let's look at another one. Actually,
Oh, that's a bit of a classic.
This
So
is the 80s one.
That's what I would have been sort of writing on, I reckon. It's a
Look
Met,
this up.
a
Thanks,
Met
Brad.
branded one.
A Met branded one.
I don't know if we've
A
had.
Met branded tram.
So the MT Melbourne Tram MTB. So this was like the successor to the MTB, wasn't it? The Met.
Yes. So
And
I think
that
the
was-
Met encompassed all travel, didn't it? It included trains and buses.
I think it did. I think what is
Because
now
that was when they
Metro
were trying to
trains.
use the same ticket for everything. Because before they used to
Scratch and
buy
sniff, the scratch and sniff ones.
scratch and sniffy ones
Do you
there.
remember the scratchy ones?
Yes.
We're probably the only people in the world that ever had those. They were
Yeah.
a terrible idea.
You just scratched everything.
I know,
Hopefully
it
you
was
won.
like lottery. That was good. You'd buy a 2-hour one for like 65 cents and they get scratched all off.
I think a lot of people would have more of a personal connection with this one because
Yeah.
it's a more recent vintage, I guess.
But you can't see it.
You
can
can't
look
see
at
it.
Well, you can look out the window and see this one go around the W
Yes, you
part.
can, and that's
This one here doesn't go.
no,
Yeah.
not at all. But this doesn't go either because it doesn't have any running gear. This is another
But
display
you know
one.
what I mean.
But, but you're right. They've repainted them exactly in the scheme. And we also have these as a non-running display model as well.
Yeah.
So you
They're
can buy all three of them as non-running.
correct. Yeah, that's an option that you have, whether you want something to put
I
on a
like that
layout.
option.
Yeah, it's a good option. But these are actually really popular for visitors to Melbourne
Are they?
as like a keepsake or a gift, because nearly everybody who comes to Melbourne will.
Well,
almost
as it's our
inevitably-
75th year, I think it's only fitting that we sell heritage trams.
So Stone
No.
Farmer says in, what was that, San Francisco, wasn't it? They've got cable cars and trolleys. Okay, so that'll be
Okay.
considered trolley, right?
Yeah,
So they've been
Tram,
by
converted and they
definition,
run
yeah.
around on
The tram,
the
mate.
streets. It's a tram.
Tram. Just
All right, sorry. All right.
but let's have another look at our creation, our Melbourne tram creation that we've done. This is actually something that you created yourself, or you painted yourself, isn't
I
it?
did. And that's where I
BJ painted
experimented
it-
with some
B-
decals as well. And
BJ painted it for me.
And,
So
I did that for you because you said, yeah, let's do a restaurant
know.
trip.
But
And
you
that-
just you
that was
never
a hard one.
You just never gave it to me yet.
So this is our own Hearns workshop resin 3D printed creation. The
So-
comical tram.
So
Yeah.
that started life.
Yep.
As this. Is this what you're trying to say?
That's exactly right. Let's have a look at that one.
It looks nothing like it.
Well, it's because you need to apply some paint and do
So
some.
somebody's
minor
modeled it.
assembly.
That's the same base and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
So
that's
you
what it began as, the grey resin item. And then after I painted it up, we've got a restaurant.
That looks
Comical.
amazing. You've done really well there, Beach.
Thanks, mate. When are you going to pat me on the back?
You should be pleased with yourself.
I am. I'm very pleased.
But we've produced these in a small batch, kind of
Yes.
like a collector's item, I guess. And yeah, it just requires a little bit of knowledge with working with resin 3D printed parts and some painting, gluing, and assembly. And with a little bit of luck, you might end up with something that looks as good as that.
Yeah.
And there's even a powered version. So we did like Koi Classics, powered, non-powered. This one's a display one, but you can also build a version that adapts to use a Kato N-gauge chassis.
Because Plugger, we did another one of these.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we became affectionately known as Plugger.
Yep.
Plugger's
that's
on
the one.
holiday at the moment.
Here's
He's on holiday at the moment.
Yep.
He might pop up
Traveling.
anywhere. But he was powered, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He went on track, didn't he?
yes.
That would
Yeah,
have
you'll
this
tell.
guy underneath it.
That's fair.
So if we wanted to retrofit it, the base just comes off and we just slap that inside.
Did you glue it or am I going to break it?
Are you going to pull it really hard and like
Think
embarrass yourself?
it stays together for the remainder of its life. But yeah, here's
But it
the
can be done. And there's our little
the
box.
kit itself.
And it's our box.
That's
That's
it.
it. Hearns Workshop Comical Tram W class. So a cute little proportioned W-class iconic Melbourne tram.
Yep.
So really cool.
Mm.
So yeah, there's a lot of options for Melbourne trams.
Well, you've blown my socks off there, young Marlon, because I thought you were going to come in and talk trains, and you've completely thrown a curveball at me. And here we are talking trams.
That's it.
The slot car guy thinks these are really seriously cool, and they are. But it's going to be even cooler when we see it run.
Well, let's do that. It's just such an iconically Melbourne thing.
Are you driving, Beige?
Can I put it at full throttle?
I would recommend probably just nice and slow.
No. Am I driving?
Classic,
If you like to,
classic
yeah.
responsible train drive.
We got the click going.
Got to make sure that you've got the direction.
Yeah.
Push.
I'll stop it.
I don't think he's.
That's okay. I
Yeah,
think
he's not on.
I'll
I think
fix it.
maybe, just maybe that switch needs a little bit of work. I think it needs a magic touch.
I'd say that you played with it before and broke it, BJ. Well,
There we go.
look,
They just needed a bit more throttle, I think.
now
Oh,
we've
did
got,
it? Oh, here
There
we
you
go.
go.
now you got
Oh, look at
somebody
that.
who knows what they're doing.
Well, that's actually lit on the inside. I'm not
It
sure
is,
you can
yeah.
actually see that on
Fully
the screen.
Fully lit.
Fully.
Fully lit. All right.
But yeah, working headlight can confirm. There you go.
So you can play with that at night.
That's
That
cool.
would look really cool if this one was working, because then it would look like the restaurant tram, because that always had dimly lit lights
It did,
inside.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there is, I believe, a powered version of that one, and you could replicate that.
Oh, here we go. Hang on. It does have it.
It has a funny switch. It
You
requires
are not licensed to
it
operate that,
requires
mate.
a special touch.
Hang on, yeah. It's a bit like
Turn it up to 11.
just a way of controlling the choke.
That handy old
Send
Oh,
it.
Oh, there it is.
controller,
There it is.
there you
There it
go.
is. There it is.
Just send it, Beach,
Isn't that amazing? He gets
Straight
so
in.
excited when the switch is in the right spot.
straight into the side of the laptop.
Oh, you want to full throttle it?
Oh,
No. That was a bit
do a
mistake.
high speed run from one
everybody's
side to
just
the
been
other.
thrown out of their seat.
That is cool. I like it.
That
Oh,
was
well.
like turbocharged.
Once again, Marlon, you have well educated me. I'm a better man now than I was when you walked in, that's for sure.
Glad to be of service.
You're welcome. Well, thank you for coming in and showing us all things trains.
That's
That was
okay.
great.
Does anybody have any questions in relation to that I can answer?
Well, I just popped up the psycho guy thought that was fully lit,
Yeah.
and it is.
I think we demonstrated that. Yes, as a matter of fact, it is. Awesome.
All right.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks
It's
for
always
coming
good
in.
looking at some interesting things, and particularly very Melbourne as well.
Yeah.
Non-mistakenly Melbourne.
We love Melbourne trams.
We do.
We do because we use them to get to work,
Yes.
usually.
Yes.
Well, they're just always there in the background. I'm just really, just the noise is familiar, and they're just always just there. It wouldn't be Melbourne without them.
It's a
That's
part
it.
of the soundscape of
It is.
Melbourne as well as the streetscape.
That's right.
So anyway, thanks very much,
Thanks for
guys.
coming in,
Hope
Marlon.
everyone has a great weekend. Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
Thank
okay.
you.
See you later.
Wow.
That's cool, eh?
That was super intense.
Now let's go back to our van thing.
Yep.
I've got no takers.
No takers.
There's no takers. You might have to pick
Not
it
even
up.
close.
Pick it up.
I don't want to give it away.
Spin it around.
Is that it?
Yeah, that should be pretty good, eh?
Do you know which country it came from?
Which country?
Is it Australian?
Don't think so.
Okay. Did you read the box?
Yes. But I've forgotten what it is already. So
Because it's actually got no markings on it, and I'm not very familiar with it. But there you go. That
there you
doesn't
go.
make
Somebody
somebody
I
will
bet you
know.
someone will
Somebody will be
Someone will eventually know.
more.
It's just going to be a bit harder because you have to squint because it's so small. Okay.
Enough of
do
this. I'm so excited.
We've got a.
What? Can I please move this? I'm really dead scared about smashing up Marlon's trains.
Smash stuff. Shouldn't worry about that.
Well, especially.
So we've got Jordan here. He says it's from England. Is it from England? I think it might be.
It looks English. I don't know. I haven't seen the packet, mate. I have no
It's
idea.
right over there.
Oh, is this the packet? All right. You keep
So
talking.
it is English. Okay, so it's narrowed it down to one particular country.
Oh,
I've
it's
got,
definitely English. Crikey.
so Jeff thinks it's the Volkswagen, but unfortunately not because
It's definitely not a Volkswagen.
Not a
That would,
Volkswagen.
that would make it German. Would it? No?
well, it could be a Volkswagen that moved over to England to live,
I think I figure. Right.
but it's probably not the case.
Without further ado, we're super excited to have this radio and the 10PX
That's
and
right.
Futaba Australia representative Soorian. So can we
That's
get
right.
him into the studio with us?
All right, let me do my
He's
technical
not-
skills.
He's not here in person, but thanks. Hi Soorian, how are you, mate?
I've still got on
I'm
mute.
very well. Good to see you guys.
Ah, there he is.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us today. Must be a busy time for you and Futaba Australia, I bet. This
It has been absolutely.
Futaba has been a long time coming.
It has.
There's been a lot
indeed.
of hype about it. Like I said, Soorian and the team were kind enough to give us a pre-release one that we could do some content and a bit of demos and stuff like that,
Yeah,
which
we
was
got,
really
to,
cool.
we got to use it and check it out ergonomically, check out its features.
But guess what we got?
What have we got? Have you lost it?
Yeah.
That's because I moved it.
Ah,
You
It's
better
great.
not have lost it. We sent that specifically to get it for the weekend.
Here we go.
I have got my very own. Can you turn that up a bit? I can barely hear young Soorian.
It's
Could
upside
be-
down, mate.
What's upside down?
Bit-
Your pop.
Well, there's a picture up here. This one's got a picture. It's much nicer than the box that we had the other one in. So this is really cool. So I'm going to do a bit of an unboxing, and hopefully young Soorian can tell me exactly what I'm looking at here. This is a fresh one. Can I have a? I don't
Now,
I don't-
for
I don't
everyone
like
else,
it.
everyone else that's watching, if you have any questions for Soorian about the new Futaba, please feel free to put them in the comments, and then I'll transfer them across, and we'll find out more about this fantastic new top-end radio.
Da, 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 da. Look at this. We've got the instruction manual.
Yep,
Is that a screen protector in there, Soorian?
that is. Yes, the 10PX, it comes with a screen protector just so you can protect that valuable LCD screen.
Cool.
Because
The next
Of
thing,
course,
as
it is.
Brett just showed there, is your
yeah.
is your warranty card. That's shows that it came from Futaba Australia, and that will cover all your warranty issues if you have anything that does go wrong. But if you need it repaired as well, that can also be sent back too.
Yeah, so it's really important to get your radios from a local supplier, because the warranty is very, very important. If you get them from overseas, then you're going to have to send it back overseas to get it covered.
well, they are such a valuable item. You
Yes.
really do want the security and the assurance of being able to get it fixed and having to get your warranty on it.
Yeah.
And if you buy one from overseas or one that's not from this country, then that won't be covered. So, and if anybody's ever seen me handle a radio or even try and get one out of a box,
What are you doing there? Everything's falling. It's just all falling out.
how did you pack that, Soorian?
Yeah, Exhibit A.
Did you-
Booby trap?
Did you booby trap that for me, mate? This,
Excellent.
just for you, mate. Just for you.
yeah, this literally just got here like an hour ago. So this is all new to me. This is like Christmas. So talk
It
me
is.
through what I'm
Listen,
looking
this
at.
is having gone through all the various versions before. This has possibly got the most amount of stuff in a box I've seen. So, yeah, just you can have a look at these. Are some of the accessories that come in the
Oh yeah,
package.
put it on. We're a bit tight on top, mate. What's this rubbery thing?
So that is the little grip you can see just up here, just under the trigger section. That is an optional one for it. So you can obviously make them larger or smaller to suit your comfort.
Well, hang on. I better get my new radio out of the box, hey?
Oh, where's that go? Does that go under here?
Yeah.
In the
Oh,
grip
sorry.
section?
That goes just between your trigger finger and your top knuckle, essentially, of your index.
Oh,
You can
oh,
see
this
it
way.
just there.
oh, I see. Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's
Oh,
two.
yeah.
Yep. So there's two grips on this radio. You will get a spare one, a smaller one in the package, and you'll get two different of these nose pieces as well. So you
Yep.
can absolutely customize this radio to suit yourself and your comfort.
Yeah. So there's all the goodies that we didn't get on the pre-production one.
Oh, look, there's two
Exactly,
different colours,
so-
isn't it?
That is
It's like I said,
absolute-
this is why it comes with the amount of stuff I've seen in this is amazing.
Yep.
So there you can
So
really
there we
make sure
have-
you're absolutely comfortable. Whether you've got very small delicate hands, or as I like to call my friends meat paws, the biggest hand you've ever seen. But it's
meat
again,
paws.
Yeah.
It's better than what other people have called them, but anyway.
Oh, look at the email. There's other rubbery
what we've
things.
discovered is that a lot of the, especially the Australian market, drivers like to have a firmer spring in certain areas. So we've actually had to customize and actually get other springs. So it is possible to change your springs in your steering and your throttle to make it firmer, along with the adjustments that you actually get in your radio. So you've actually got your adjustments just like the version before, where you can tighten or stiffen, loosen or tighten the
spring
steering
tension.
response spring or the throttle spring.
Oh, I'm so excited I can barely get it open. All right, so what have we got here? This is another grip that we're looking at.
Yep. So you've got the smaller grip that comes separately. So if you want the bigger grip to have a larger feel in your hand, that's what comes standard. If you want to make that a bit small for your hands, then you've got the smaller grip that comes in the box too.
Beautiful, beautiful. And then what have we got here? We've got, these are the blanking plugs that I read about in the instructions that I downloaded on the other one I had.
Yeah.
And that's
So
to
for
go
our
into the
guys
pedal
who-
switches and stuff.
Yeah, for our guys who run off-road, they're really good just to stop any chance of extra dirt or clay or something getting in there, possibly shorting or even just getting extra dirt and crap in the receiver. Just plugs it all up, seals it up nicely and tight.
Yeah, and that's if you're obviously not using the switches. You can take the switches out, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah,
here
so
looks
this is
like
on
we've got
these are
the
on
drop-down
receiver.
wheel.
So the blanking plugs go into your receiver here, so that's where they plug in,
the
into your
receiver?
receiver ports.
Oh, the receiver ports.
So it's
They're
not
for the
buttons
receiver ports.
themselves,
Sorry. This is for the receiver port. So I thought it was the blanking. I remember reading something about the blanking plugs or something for the pedal switches or...
Oh, okay, yeah, that's everyone. But these ones are the receiver blanking ports.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
receiver
very
blanking
cool.
ports.
And here we've got the drop-down wheel assembly.
So yes, you will notice there are two different drop-down assemblies. There is a
S
small
and
and
a
a
M.
medium.
Yep.
Yep, the small and the medium are included. So you can see they are one's a little bit longer than the other.
Yep.
So you can actually, again, drop the radio further down and then obviously angle it using the angle spacer. So that allows you to actually change the angle of the wheel as it sits.
Yep.
And then with the drop down, again, you can rotate it up and back depending where your comfort level is.
Does this come with its own charger?
It does. It comes with a beautiful life charger, which is very handy, obviously.
Yep.
That's a bit of a plus, isn't it?
Just plugs straight in the side at the back,
Yep.
and makes it nice and easy to charge.
And then it looks like we've got another wheel.
It's got a spare wheel, right?
Correct. Yes. The goodies keep coming. So
I know,
you
right?
get the standard small wheel, but in the packet there, you can see there is an optional large wheel, depending, again, on what your comfort level is like, whether you want a small or a large wheel, you get both
Different,
options.
isn't it?
And
Tuck
you'll
into
notice
the
something
tooth
else on the foam. You might be able to tell on one side of the foam, it's softer compared to the other side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So what
Yes.
happens is this foam is optional. You can switch it over again to find your preference. So whether you prefer the soft foam or the stiff foam, both wheels come with that on
Oh,
It's
wow.
just like in MotoGP, they're asymmetric tires.
Right.
it.
So you have hard compound on the left and a soft
Yep.
compound on the right. Depends on which way you're going.
It's a bit like 12-scale racing on the front end.
See? You can
One of
feel
those.
you can feel the difference.
Oh, you
Feel it.
can. Oh, there's a huge difference.
I can display it more on my old radio. Actually, the one that's going to get shelved, I brought that in to talk about.
Right.
So, but you can see it because it's actually worn, badly
Okay.
worn. That is so cool. That is such a good looking wheel too, and that's half the battle is having a good looking radio. For people like
Absolutely.
me who aren't talented enough to drive fast, it's really important to look good.
What's talent got to do with it?
I don't know.
I've been telling myself that for years.
Yeah.
So what's that chunky thing here?
All right. So what Brett's got in his hand there, this is a little adapter. Now, your nice new 10PX comes with an 1100 milliamp life pack. Now, if we just open this up, you can see it in the bottom. There's an 1100 life pack in the bottom. Now, the 1100 is a fairly light pack. It's designed, it was changed to that during the 7PX production run because drivers felt they wanted a slightly lighter radio. Originally, it came with one of the 1700 packs that's here.
Yep.
But they changed to an 1100. It's a slightly shorter lifespan, but what the drivers felt is they preferred a lighter radio in their hands. So lighter radio, easier to hold over the course of a run. The next step is Futaba have introduced a new battery that comes standard in the 16IZ.
Yes.
Now, this is the battery here. A really, really neat little feature is it's actually got a little USB-C charge port. You can just see it there. Now,
so
this
and that's
adapter,
inbuilt in the battery.
that is inbuilt in the battery. So these batteries are currently on order. We hope to see them very shortly. But what this option allows you to do is if you look here at the insert, this actually drops straight into there.
Like so?
And what this insert allows you to do is, with your nice new radio, is to run a battery here that actually is charged via USB.
Yep.
It's a little bit heavier, but it gives you a little bit more runtime. So you can see that insert sits in there really nice and snug.
Oh, wow.
And saves it rattling
and when
about.
You put on, and when you put the new base cover back on, you can actually, oops, if I line that up a bit better, you can actually see there is a little insert you can see just pops open there, and you can see the USB socket.
Little
so
window.
that means for the future you can just use a USB-C cable to charge your radio.
Right.
So that's really nice from Futaba. They're actually giving you an option straight away if you want to run a bigger, heavier pack without having to do too much to it.
Yeah. We'll touch on that later because I've actually got another option for that. So can I go ahead now, Soorian, and can I plug this bad boy in?
You can, absolutely. Now, you might notice there is a second plug in there.
Yes.
It's blanked off currently. That will be most likely for, as with the current 7PXR, a wireless charger. The current live charger the current base doesn't fit on this one yet. So I expect to see a new base unit very, very soon.
Right. Wireless charging, that's a bit special, isn't it?
Yeah, so you just put it on the base.
Yep.
Here we go.
Well, there you go. It's all together. Let's move that aside here so it's a bit cleaner to look at.
Do you want to do the big peel back, mate? Do you want to do the big peel back?
What am I peeling to?
Yes.
Hey? Oh, you want me to
Go on.
it?
Get that. Oh, God. Just peel it. Just,
do you want it to go slow?
just be gentle. Don't be. Oh! You're so mean.
Yeah, I'll put it back.
Medic!
You're gonna have a go now. That felt really good.
Some people really get off on that, don't they? Oh, look, there's a second one.
Oh, there is too.
I was going to leave that on there for the happy customer, but the happy customer's got his radio.
All right. Okay.
So I'll turn it on.
Oh.
It's all very... Now, people might have seen me play with one of these. Like I said, I did have a pre-production model.
Yeah.
So we have run through the basic parameters. And I did actually have it on a couple of cars. I had it on our Hearns Racing Frog.
Yep.
YZ2 and a YZ4.
Yep.
And the radio actually got rave reviews. So people were really happy with it.
Yep.
It was really easy to set up.
Yes.
And coming from other Futaba radios that I've had, it's all very similar and it's all evolution.
Yep.
So what Soorian's going to do now is tell us about some of the special and unique features.
Okay, so I'm going to swap this over to...
Make Soorian the star.
Yeah, that's it. Let me see if I can remember how to do this.
Shine, Soorian, shine. Oh,
it's really small now, but we'll do this.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
look, you made me dizzy, Beach.
Did I? Sorry.
So
I'll give you
that's the 10PX is the new flagship from Futaba. Really is an absolute evolution of the 7PXR platform. Really nice radio, more channels, more programmability. One of the great things is the menus. Now, most people who have played with the Futaba radio before love the menus. Really easy to navigate, and they're very clean. The 10PX, they have gone further on this. So previously, the 7PXR, there were 5 different menu screens to log through. Now there's just 2. The menus have been streamlined. It's cleaner. It's even easier to use. And the graphics are even nicer as well. So you can see there the graphics menu, really nice, really smooth.
Yeah.
The 10PX it would introduce a new protocol. So the F4G.
The F4G?
Just going to adjust that for you. Sorry, one sec, guys.
Okay,
It's
That
come
would
back. It's come
happen.
back.
That would happen, wouldn't it? There we go. That's all good.
there we go. What's happened?
So,
You said before, you said to me before that this has got 10 channels,
yes, it does.
but it's only got a 4-channel receiver. I can see.
It does. So this is the
How do
idea.
we
this is the
fix
thing.
that, Soorian?
Yes, you can see there the new receivers are even smaller than before. Here is the previous generation receivers. So this is the 334 SBE. This is the new one. It's even smaller. But again, yeah, as you're right, it's got 4 channels there with an S-Bus port. Now, S-Bus technology is really, really awesome. What it allows you to do is you can actually program the servos. So you can actually set these servos through extra channels to allow you more functions, more features, to do more things. Now, with the 7PXR, you could connect to one of the 6-channel air receivers if you wanted to just run 6 analog ports. But if you want to run S-Bus, you can run up to 10 channels with the 10PX. The way to do that is with one of these little babies. This is an S-Bus hub. It allows you to connect. So this one hub allows you to connect an extra 3 servos for channels. If you plug one S-Bus hub in, you will have 4 main channels from analog plus 3 of the S-Bus. If you want to run more, then you can add another hub. You can go up to obviously 6 channels through the S-Bus hub. What I'll just show you here is I've actually changed the main menu on this radio here. So you can actually see here it's got the first 4 channels normal, which is obviously your steering, your throttle, and then various ancillaries. But what I've just done quickly is I have got 2 of the Futaba SU400 S-Bus servos. These are quite a nice little basic servo. They work really well. But even the base model Futaba servos are S-Bus programmable. So
Really?
you grab a receiver.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I thought you had to spend like big money to get that.
No, even the base model Futaba SU300, which is ballparking around 20 to 30 bucks, is S-Bus programmable.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
So I've got one of those receivers here.
Yep.
We're just going to plug in the S-Bus hub. So you can see there's nothing plugged into channel 1, 2, 3, or 4. There's just the S-Bus hub. What we're going to do now is we're just going to connect these servos in. Now, the beauty of an S-Bus hub is it doesn't really matter which one I've plugged it into here. It doesn't matter. I can plug it into any one of these 3. Because I've set the channel already on the servo, it will recognize it whether I connect another 2 or 3 hubs on and then plug it in there, or I plug it into this one here. So I can plug it in there or there, whichever. Does not matter.
The servo itself has its own ID.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
So they are plugged in. You can see they are slightly apart on that one for you. What we're going to do is we'll plug in a receiver pack. So it doesn't really matter which one I can plug it into, obviously. So that is now plugged into here. So with our transmitter on, we will got the receiver needs to be connected. So we will go on. That is now turned into a green light, which means that the receiver has connected. Now we can just use your steering throttle. You can see the channel moving on the radio. And what we have done as well is you can actually see here, you can see channel 5 and 6, which is what I've assigned these 2 servos to. You can see a blue line. That means obviously it is set at a certain setting right now. So for one channel, I've just connected to here. So you can see that is essentially a momentary switch. So if I push it all the way down.
You have expanded it to 6 channels.
Wow.
So currently I have set up channel 5 and 6. I can plug another one in if I assign another channel just to add more. So we can have as many, up to 10 channels total. So for guys who run crawlers or drifters or who want to run these extra channels, I mean, we have guys who race on and who add an extra servo for a DRS swing. And just for fun, you can add these sorts of things. You can do all these sorts of projects. And with S-Bus,
I'm going to add an extra channel to mine to stop crashing.
So exactly, whether you want to do bashing or whatever.
Crash channel.
So you've got here. So that was one. This is another one. You can actually see here.
Yep.
So that's actually the dial. So the dial's actually a 2 a double switch. So you can actually twist it.
Yeah.
And you can actually see there, I'm turning it because I've assigned that to that.
Yep.
You can actually see the servo here is turning as I turn the dial.
Yep.
Or I can push it.
Okay.
And it will go. So obviously you can set these to alternating or single position. So you click it once, it goes to an endpoint. Click it and it comes back. Or you can click it once, and it goes under the click. It can go there and then release it and it comes back.
And of course,
So
I mean, the radio
programming
then's going to have all options where you can mix them all into each other as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
The
once you
mixing
hit like,
channels, mixing
once
channels
you
are
hit
absolutely
like
amazing on
90%
these. So much
throttle,
software
you can make
you
it
can
do
use.
something.
Oh, really? That fine
Yeah.
night mixing.
Or when you have brake on, you can have the DRS or whatever.
So what happens if you don't want to use a servo? Just say you want to set up lighting.
So what Futaba have is called a CPS kit. So this is the channel position switch.
Right.
This is actually, this turns a signal, which is obviously using the position, so the plus 100 or minus 100 position, and that turns it to an on and off. So you can actually turn and actually include two little LEDs in here. So as that you go that positive and minus 100, it can actually turn the kit on and off. So that's really, really handy.
I imagine that drift guys would have heaps of those on their cars, no, for all the different lights.
Maybe.
He would know, wouldn't he?
Have you got your drift car there wired up, Soorian?
Sorry, what was that?
Have you got your drift car there wired up or not yet?
I was a bit lazy with this one. So we haven't quite put a light kit into this one yet. This one here has the S-Bus programmability because I'm going to show off another little cool little project, which is Futaba have also produced, obviously through the S-Bus features, this one's in partnership with Accuvance, which is the MC970CR ESC. So this is a drift ESC. But what the S-Bus function allows you to do is it allows you to change your settings on the fly without having to program anything in. Oh, wow. When you plug your speed controller into the S-Bus port, it actually connects the programming ability, which means you can adjust it from the radio, no issue. And that's the same thing with the new GYD 550 gyro. So again, S-Bus programmability, settings can be adjusted on the fly. You do not have to go and pick the car up or play around.
Yep. So you can just plug it. You can just go to the various menus here and tune it from your radio.
Also, I'll show you this here. That's one of my current cars, Yokomo YD2 based. So you can see here.
We love Yokomo.
That's a nice car.
You can see here. You can see here the new receiver. There is an S-Bus hub just tucked just underneath here, just to keep everything. So the ESC has a cable that goes into the S-Bus hub. The 550 gyro also has a cable that goes into the hub. So both can be adjusted on the fly. So if we connect this up.
That makes it a lot more streamlined, doesn't it?
It really does.
So basically you've got, they're both plugged into the S-Bus so they can communicate via S-Bus back to the transmitter.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just like next level telemetry.
Yep.
So right now, this car has just connected up. So another really cool feature is obviously the TempyX has model types. So you can actually set the model type. You can actually see just on that screen there, it allows you to set and show on the screen certain features depending on what vehicle you have. So as I'm running a drift car, I've set it to a drift setting. And what that means is on the main screen, you can actually see it's automatically got a gyro gain showing on the screen.
Oh, there is a drift setting.
And what happens is if you change that setting, you will see the main settings on the screen will change to suit that model.
Right, okay.
Wow.
So that is a really, really cool feature that makes it really easy to set your vehicle up and see things that are very important to you.
Okay, wow, very clever.
And they make it as easy as that.
That is it. It makes it nice and easy to see these settings, the important things to you. So obviously with drifters, with rear-wheel drive, we run gyros. So you can see your gyro adjustment and you can obviously see that going up and down as I play with the dial here. Now, we're talking about S-Bus. So if you look here in the main menus, you can see there is an accessory menu. If we go into that, you'll see all these features and functions down here.
So which one am I looking at?
So if you go into the accessory menu, and if we look at the different settings we have there, let's say we can go into the, let's look at the ESC. So we'll go into the MC link function.
Yep.
You can see that it allows you to pick which ESC you're running.
Yep.
So for us, we're going to pick the MC970. We're now going to read it.
Yep.
And we are reading it through a wireless setting.
Yep.
So that has now gone through. Now that it is connected, you can actually go through the data listing. So if you can actually see there, you can actually start going through the menu. So for functions like Hobby Wing and some of the other ESCs, you obviously have a Bluetooth or a Wi-Fi program card.
Yep.
This means you do not have to even touch the card. You literally push a button and you can start cycling through all your menus, all your ESC functions. So as we go through, you can check it, adjust it to suit your liking.
I can see why that's going to be banned for racing applications.
Yes, unfortunately, that does mean this ESC is not compatible for sanctioned racing because of that.
Yep.
With drifting, it's a different matter. ESCs aren't sanctioned or under certain regulations. Now,
That is fantastic.
It's really handy. If we go through that accessory menu again, you can see we had a gyro link underneath the MC link.
Yep.
If you go into the gyro link, again, we go through the S-bus function because that's how the GYD 550 is connected.
Yep.
And it will link up in a second. And straight away, you can see the gyro menus have changed. So if you go into the basic settings, this is when you first set up the 550 gyro, you will set these settings up. And you can actually go back. And then you can go to the more advanced gyro settings through here.
Yep.
Again, all this can be done on the fly. So you literally can have your car sitting over in the pit area or sitting next on the side of the track. You're not quite happy with something, adjust setting, press right. It'll send the settings to the gyro or the ESC. It'll update, and then you can keep on driving with the new settings.
That is so cool.
It's quite amazing with the technology, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's quite a advancement.
And for somebody like me and what I'm going to do with it, which is just 2-channel, buggy and on-road racing and stuff, it's really not going to be utilizing much of the cool functions that it can do.
Yeah.
So what else have I got in? What else have we got in the box here? I can see some other goodies. So I've got not just one receiver, but we've got two.
Yeah.
And they're both the 404 SBS.
Correct.
So that's the new protocol.
This is the new F4G protocol receiver. They are, as you can see, they are a fair bit smaller than the previous generation of receivers. So I'll just demonstrate here. That is a Futaba 334 SBS.
Yep.
And you can see the size difference between them there. That is quite the size of a difference of a footprint, and it means it can fit even easier on your chassis.
Yep.
So apart from the size difference, is there any other difference with the new protocol?
So the F4G protocol gives you a faster transmission, especially with telemetry. So it means you can get that data even sooner and really keep a good monitoring on what's happening. With S-Bus, that you have that functionality of a bunch of different telemetry. The bunch of different telemetry. You got your voltage, your amps, your amp draw. Some of the boat guys, they use the GPS ones. There is so much available to you. And you can supply all those through Futaba Australia? Absolutely, yeah. We try to stock every single one on the shelf. So if they are required, you can give you guys a call and we can get them sent out if you don't have them on hand. But, for you guys, as we saw with the radio, we can try and get an express bag as quick as possible.
Absolutely.
So with the two types of receivers, so we've got the
These are both the
Oh, they're
same.
both the same. Okay, so
But our pre-production one, that had a SBSE in it as well. So that was the antennaless model.
yes,
Correct. So what happens is that for most people, as standard, want an antenna for racing. If you go, if you're running nitro, you always want an antenna.
Yeah.
The SBSE is the antennaless receiver designed for electric vehicles. It's more specifically for like racing electric vehicles, where obviously you're not looking at a 300-meter odd range. You're only looking at maybe a couple hundred meters, 100-200 meters. And the idea obviously is no external antenna or minimal external antenna. There's less chance of it being damaged, and you don't have to run a big dirty antenna tube anymore either.
Yeah.
So if you look at here again, the previous generation versus the new generation, there is a fairly sizable size difference.
Yep.
And that said, it is fully backwards compatible, isn't it?
The transmitter is compatible with TFHSS, SFHSS, and FHSS, along with the F4G protocol. It is no longer compatible with the FAST protocol because FAST, unfortunately, it was last used in the 4PKSR, which is quite an old transmitter now. I think it's about 9 to 10 years old now. So that compatibility is no longer there. The receivers are only used with the 10PX because of the brand new F4G protocol.
Yes.
Now I've had a question before. When we showed off the radios when we first received them, we had someone asking about what would be the best selection for receiver for drag racing or speed runs, because I think they've got the issue of quite a distance from start to finish. So would you be going with the
antenna one for safety?
And then there was also the question of whether or not you use an aircraft receiver. Is an aircraft receiver something that would be usable on something like this, or any advantage?
You probably not bother with it. Now, especially fast protocol is a different, so with TFHSS, there is an air protocol and a surface protocol. So generally the air protocol will not work with a surface transmitter.
Okay.
So there is one exception to that, which is this receiver here, which is the 2106GF. That will work with surface or air because it's a fairly standard one. But in relation to the majority of air receivers, they will not work with a surface transmitter. Now,
So
if you're going to do something where you're worried about your range, absolutely run a large antenna receiver. We had a drag meet in Perth a couple of weeks ago. There was a power box fairly close to where we were running, and so some guys were running out of range after about 100 meters. They actually were losing connection to their car.
Wow.
Almost all of them were running a basic, I think it was one of the guys had an M17. He was using the antennaless receiver. He was starting to have transmission issues by the end of the run. He had to go run down to come back into range, pick the car up and come back. So that is something.
Well, if it was a Sanmar, I'm not surprised.
So it's getting washed out.
But what was happening is obviously the environment was causing an issue where the signal was being caused to drop. So guys were actually having to go out, get close to the car to turn around and come back. So especially if you're concerned about range, absolutely run the wide receiver, whether it's the older 334 or the new 404.
But even then, the antenna's not really that long, is it?
It's really not a long antenna. That's it end to end. Obviously, it's not that long, but it's just to give you that extra security. If you're worried about the range or running out of range, that's why it's there.
Right. Okay. So just a reminder to all the viewers that if you have any questions for Soorian or anything about the Futaba radios, please send up your questions, and we'll get those answered for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then what else have I got in the box? There's something else I noticed here, Soorian.
What's that?
So, is it another trigger?
So what happens in here? You can see the little packet that comes here. There, you will notice there is a different trigger in there. There is also a different wheel, depending on that, and obviously some bolts for your adapters.
Yep.
Again, this is a comfort thing. it depends whether that trigger is comfortable for you in the position, or you want it to be adjustable. So you can actually see there how your finger fits in that trigger hole is completely adjustable. So there is, I believe that is the longer trigger in the bag.
Yep.
But Futaba also offer an option with smaller triggers. So if you've got smaller, delicate hands, I could probably say that myself, or you have a larger hand, there we will find trigger to suit you. So obviously the medium trigger on there, large trigger in the bag, and Futaba also offer the aluminium smaller versions, so they can be tighter on your finger as well.
Wow.
Wow, aluminium. That gets me excited.
Yeah, it's pricked up my ears.
We need to offer a trigger fitting service.
Wait, you want to measure fingers?
That's right.
Yeah. All right, I'll watch the first one and see what happens.
It really is such a but it's such a personal thing, your radio, isn't it?
Well, it is. Well,
and it's usually ingrained from years of just habits.
Yes.
And it depends on what you probably had something that was cheaper when you started and wasn't adjustable.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're comfortable with. Whereas if you started life with a drop down or whatever, I've never been a huge fan of drop down, but everybody's completely different, and it doesn't make you faster or slower, But yeah, so they are, and obviously it does the left to right wheel conversion.
Yep.
If you're left-handed. So it is like Soorian saying, not only is it electronically adjustable, but the ergonomics of it mechanically is fully adjustable as well. And every button.
If you take racing, for instance, nitro mains, 45 minutes to an hour. If you're going to be holding a radio for that long, it has to be comfortable in your hand. There's nothing worse than driving and feeling cramped up and tight. You've got to have the radio that adjusts to a comfort level for you, so you don't notice it. You can tell it's a good radio if you don't notice it in your hands while you're driving.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at that top level, it is basically a sporting tool, isn't it? So you want all that adjustment to be anatomically correct to yourself.
And I'm not saying that these are expensive, because I actually don't consider these expensive at all. I think radios now and what they're capable of are actually far better value than they were even 10 years ago.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The features now and the programmability, the adjustability of the transmitters now on the market is unbelievable compared to even 7 to 10 years ago. You would not get even close to the functionality that you do now.
So I'm going to show you actually what my new radio is going to replace. So here in my bag. Hey Soorian, do we have any hard cases available?
Now, we've got the 7PX cases. The 10PX cases haven't arrived as of yet. Yep. I'm hoping they're not too far away, but they will actually fit in a 7PX case. We did check this because, I have one too. They will fit in there, so you can protect them there too. Speaking of cases, though, I've got a little sneak peek for you guys for something that is probably a bit close to my heart, because it is going to be quite a little sneaky over here. This is a brand new bag from Futaba.
I didn't know Futaba made bags.
Oh, they do. They do. Let me show you. This is a new carry case from Futaba with a beautiful strap up there. But what's really handy is that down here, there is a section for your radio to sit in.
Wow.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, I've seen that already. Not only do you have the section for 2 cars or your car and tools, but you've actually got a radio protected section that actually has a hard insert here. So it is well protected. Everything is solid all the way around.
No, it makes sense.
That is fantastic. Because once you do spend good money on a radio, it's imperative that you do take care of it. Now, they are quality and they do last, but it's not something that you want to be dropping, falling off your table, that sort of thing. So it's really good that you've got a home for it as soon as you come off the driver's stand. And then you take it out just before you go on the driver's stand. And then also when it's in transport to and from the track. It's not something that you just want rattling around in your toolbox or in the footwell of your car.
I mean, especially for something like a 10PX, you are investing a fair amount of money in it. you can spend a little bit more and invest in some good protection for it. You know, because the last thing you want to do is have something go wrong with your highly sought after new product.
That's right. So this is what I'm replacing it with. So this is my evergreen, I'll call it, like for a Futaba. I'm a Futaba boy. This is my 4PX. And this would have to be 10 years old, wouldn't it? Soorian?
20, I think it's 2014, 2015. So about 8 years old now from memory.
Yep.
Well,
And
that's
that's how long I've had this one for. So and it has been reliable from the get-go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is nothing. I haven't had to do anything. I haven't smashed it. That said, I've always kept it. I've got a hard case for it.
You can see the family resemblance, can't you?
Yeah. It is really good. And you can see here, that's got the dual compound. You can see here how the wheels, the foam's like gone a bit worn and stuff like that. So you do have a lot of the similar menus, but obviously, like I said, it is familiar, but they've just taken that evolution a lot further. Now, one thing that did happen to me like 3 years ago was the factory battery in this, and I think it was a Life as well, a Life 1700 that came in this, did actually just give up the ghost.
Oh, I guess batteries will do that.
So luckily, I mean, and we're an agent and retailer of Aromax batteries, so they do a 2400 Life pack. And that gives that not only did that give me, I actually liked it. It had a little bit additional weight, but it also gave it phenomenal runtime. I mean, I'm the kind of person that takes it, that charges before every race day anyway.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't even drop down I wouldn't even drop below 6.5 volts.
Right.
You know, which is really, really high. I don't like my voltages to go down below 6 volts. But yeah, so Aromax also offer a Life pack of 2400. And I'll be really keen to try it in this when I get more into it. Whether it does, in fact, make the radio feel, it will definitely make it feel different because of the weight.
Yeah.
You can see here the weight.
Well, I think this is all part of the tunability that Soorian was talking about before.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. The battery that you put in your pack, obviously changes the runtime of the radio, but the weight is such a thing. Again, it's the ergonomics. What feels comfortable for you, whether you like a heavy radio or a lighter radio, that's purely up to you what you want to do with it.
That's right. But yeah, so saying that, then that's all in 8 years or whatever that I've had this radio that I've ever actually had to change. It's never let me down. And I'll be able to use all the receivers that I've got with this, which are all the 314s and 334s.
Yeah.
I'll be able to use that with my new radio.
Yeah.
Which is really good because over the years you sort of collect a few and probably Soorian, like much like myself, has got more than one or two RC cars. Yeah.
I'm actually on my 7PXR. I think I was nearing 30 plus models at last count. So I've got to be a bit careful now. But again,
you'll have to get an SD card for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. With an SD card, the SD card port in the side, the front now, that does your updating, but it allows you to add more models. So if you
is it behind the antenna?
So that's the swivel antenna. But behind the antenna, you can actually see as it opens up, there's your SD card port for software updates.
Yep.
Now on the right is a new port. That is a USB-C port. It actually opens another function of this radio. Over COVID, we saw a lot of people being stuck at home. Restrictions everywhere. So what a lot of people were doing is playing online, doing online RC essentially.
Yep.
So what it meant is, you're trying to connect your controller up to the computer so you can practice games and just keep on top of your RC game. The USB-C port now lets you use this. So you literally plug a USB-C into here, into your computer, and you can use this as your controller now.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yes. So that's a really cool new feature. Previously, you had to daisy chain through a receiver, which was then plugged into an adapter, then into your computer. Now you just go straight with the USB-C cable.
Straight into a USB port?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very, very handy.
I'm scared to wear it out. Honestly, I'm the kind of person, I'd be scared to wear it out, and it's funny because I know that they really don't wear at a great rate. Like you've got to do that much work with these radios.
Yeah.
Unless you're racing 5th scale or nitro where you're constantly doing hour runs,
Yeah.
you are not going to, like I said, even in 8 years
Yeah.
of considerable use, wear it out to a
Yeah.
point where
Yeah.
it's failing or it's any way noticeable. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that was
absolutely.
really cool.
I mean, my when I had a 4PX, I was doing racing multiple times a week, drifting. And the thing with drifting is that a battery for us will last half an hour to 45 minutes because we're
Yep.
not
Mhm.
under as much load. So you can
Yep.
easily drift 4 to 5 hours in a night.
Yep.
And your radio runs the whole time.
Yep.
So it's very easy to do that. So you think about the wear that goes onto these radios, and they run pretty much faultlessly. They've been fantastic. My
And
4PX, when I finally decided to go up to a 7, I essentially sold my 4PX to a good friend.
Yep.
It still ran faultlessly. So they have been fantastic for quality over a really long time.
Yeah, yeah, and that's great, and it's really good buying, like I said, buying locally because you've got the whole factory support. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and if we can't get it fixed here in Australia, then the boys at Futaba Australia will organise to get it fixed.
Yeah.
Overseas. You know what I mean? So it's really nice to have that security.
Definitely.
But the only way I can see that this ever failing or breaking or whatever is by me physically smashing it off the bench or something.
You don't
I
hear
won't
that,
talk
do you?
about you driving then.
No. Don't talk about me driving. All right. Well, I think we've really covered the brand new 10PX well.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, we're really appreciative of Futaba Australia bestowing us with the pre-production model.
Yeah, very lucky to have so.
We're very lucky to have it, and I know Soorian was a big part of that, letting us have it, get some content up and get familiar with it.
Yeah.
So we're really looking forward to this. Will be on the shelf. Well, it'll be in the store. If not today, Monday, it'll be in store, online, and available. So really good. This one here did come because this was expressed out in an airbag to make it for today's show because they literally just landed in Australia a day or two ago. Lucky to be 48 hours.
Correct.
So
So they came in. We knew you guys had a live show for Friday, so we wanted to get that one out to you to make sure you had it on hand.
Fantastic, mate. Well, thanks for looking after us, Soorian. Thanks for taking the time today. And it's really good that Hearns Hobbies and Futaba Australia have got such a good relationship.
Yeah, for sure. And we definitely learned a lot of things, didn't we?
Oh, today I'm really glad that Soorian came on because, like I said, I really haven't explored, even in the couple of weeks I had it, I just don't have the scope that Soorian's got. That's why we asked him to come on because I know that with the drifting and with his experience with Futaba alone, has got a lot more in-depth knowledge than I'll have in another 5 years.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you for joining us today, Soorian.
Thanks again.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's been a lot of fun. Good to chat. But if you've got any questions, you can shoot them through. We can always get a reply back to you through the guys at Hearns as well.
Yeah,
sure.
Fantastic.
That's been great.
No worries. Thanks for coming on, mate.
No worries, guys. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks. See you.
Wow. Holy moly. My head's just exploded. I have learned more about Futaba, the 10PX, in the last 20 minutes or however long that Soorian was on than I've known about Futaba in the last 5 years.
Well, it makes a big difference when you have an expert go through all the features because at the end of the day, when you look at it, from this one to the previous 7, it looks more like an evolution. It's a bit hard to tell what the differences are except for the obvious extra channels.
The protocol and the USB-C
but with all the others,
interface
that's right. That is amazing. I mean, there's a hidden, that USB-C behind the swiveling antenna.
Yep. With the SD port,
the
which
features,
which is expandable.
Yep.
And I'm really glad that he showed us because a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a 4-channel receiver; it doesn't even do 10 channels." Well, Soorian's put that myth to bed and shown how you can extend it through the S-bus port.
That's right.
And then tune wirelessly.
Yep.
Your servos, your gyros, and your ESCs.
Yep.
That's phenomenal.
Amazing.
I'll be going through the websites and getting some telemetry stuff.
Yeah.
And seeing how that goes. I'm excited.
That's
I'm really excited. All right, how are we going with our car of the week?
So I've got another guess here. We got Bedford van.
Oh,
is it a Bedford?
It is. I'm just hang on. I'm just trying to put this somewhere safe.
But it's not a Bedford, is it?
It's not a Bedford, but it's
Not
an
a
English
Bedford.
van.
Not a big.
What else do we know?
That's it. That's it so far. So I'm thinking.
I want to say that it's come out of a very similar stable to that of a Bedford.
Yeah.
You know.
That's not quite right, is it?
It's not quite right.
No.
It's a bit like BJ.
Yeah. No, I can't help that.
What have we got?
I was
What else have we
going
got
to-
on today's show
I was
page?
going to show something a bit interesting. Because this seems to be in the news.
In the news? What? What news is that?
Top Gun, mate.
What is it?
Top Gun, new movie. Maverick.
I know that we spoke about this.
Yeah, we did,
And
but
you
it's actually getting its worldwide release.
And you bullied me and abused me because I'd never seen it. Was that the time?
Yeah, well, no one's seen this one yet, except for a few. This is the new Top Gun Maverick movie, and this is the Airfix kit with it. So they've got a few different kits as well. So this is the F-18, which Maverick uses in the new movie.
What did he use in the old movie?
F-14 Tomcat.
Oh.
He had Goose in the back. But apparently Goose's
I got a
son
goose.
is in this.
I got a
movie.
goose in the studio.
There's more than one Goose. So that's really interesting. The movie was meant to be released 3 years ago. And over lockdown and all around the world with COVID and stuff, they've actually delayed it until now. So
What can I
Good
say? I'm just not a Top Gun kind
you
of
go.
guy. I don't know.
F-18. Right.
What else
So,
have we got?
what else we
What else is in your stash?
I got some funkiness.
Did you bring the pig tank back in? What?
No.
What's that? I can't see it. What is
What?
it? Is it Pikachu? I don't know.
It's a
I don't
gun
know.
cannon.
That's a what?
Gun cannon.
A gun cannon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it says on it, gun cannon,
Yeah.
right?
So this is the old school suits from Gundam.
Mhm.
And they've done an SD version, which is the short, deformed looking ones.
SD.
SD.
It's not standard definition.
No, I don't think so.
Short deformed.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like a comical looking thing. Let's see in a bit.
Can I
Yeah,
put him in
right.
my grasshopper?
That's pretty cute. Hey, can you put it in your grass? You could. Why don't we get one of these SD helmets and stick it in your grasshopper?
What
That'd be
scale? What
fantastic,
scale
wouldn't
is it?
Hey?
What scale is it?
It's non-scale. It's just, I don't know, it's just little.
Mm.
Can you have a look at it?
Oh, have a look at it.
There's not
Get
much
into
in
it. What do you mean there's not much?
There's a few bits and pieces. So these are great for beginners. It's really cute.
Are
See a
you
big
telling
head.
me it's got multicolored thingies?
Yeah, that's a classic sort of Bandai type of thing where they inject different colors into the one sprue. Very clever that.
Well, wouldn't it just be gated?
Yeah, but no one else does it because it must be expensive to do.
And precise.
Yes. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Gun cannon, old school, but in the SD form.
So that's been around for a while.
The actual design has been, but being in this cute comical form is new. And then we've got some re-releases, which is
What you do-
funky.
You've left me on overhead. You've left me swinging again.
Oh, have I?
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
How's that?
What is this?
This is Charles Zhelgug.
The what? Charles.
Charles, the dude that drives it.
Charles.
Yeah.
And
Zhelgug. But if I pronounce it in Japanese, it's Golgug. Which is pretty similar, don't you reckon?
I don't
So-
know.
But this is really retro. Mega retro stuff.
What, when you say retro, like what year would it be from?
Talking 80s, I think.
Oh, really?
And this is actually huge. This is a 1/60th scale. So not quite.
So this
Perfect
one has
grade?
scale.
The 1/60th is their bigger type stuff.
Mhm.
And just to give you an idea, you see the size of the shield there. His
Mhm.
right shield. If I open it up, I'll show you what the size of the right shield.
Couldn't you put it on the left?
What?
The right shield. Doesn't it go on the left?
Riot.
Oh.
You know, when dudes are coming at you, angry.
How
So
could you
there it
be
is
angry
there.
with that?
There it
He's
is
too-
there.
he's
So
too-
imagine that. I mean, it's going to be, I don't know,
He looks too friendly to be in battle.
it's too friendly. I mean,
Robot.
it's mega chunky bits.
Well, he's in battle.
So they're the flares for his legs. He's wearing flares.
Wearing flares, of course. he
Yeah.
is.
So
He's
it must be late
stylish.
70s,
From the
eh?
70s.
Late 70s, early 80s. I think that's really cool. And there's a few of these.
He probably runs on super. That's how old he is.
Super. I remember Super.
Would you like?
Oh,
would you
what
like
else they
super?
say?
Would you like super unleaded?
Oh, Super, eh? You remember the golden fleece?
Yep.
So that's cool.
Now I just get fleeced at the servo.
Do you?
What's going on?
That's all I've got so far. What do you reckon? I think we should have a closer look at the car. because I think there's not many people who
Are
have got
interested.
that one.
Nobody is interested.
I mean, no one's interested. I'm sure plenty of people are interested.
You
Just,
chose a crap car of the week. What can I say?
what do you mean?
What is it, guys?
Let's look at it from the overhead, I reckon. Let's get closer.
All right, let's get close and personal.
Yeah.
I've still got stuff to look at, so this isn't the end of the show. I'm not giving it away yet.
What do you mean?
Oh, so it's an ambulance.
Are you sure?
Oh.
I couldn't see that.
That's what it says on it. Well, you've
Oh,
zoomed
really?
up that close.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, I can count the rivets on it. You've zoomed up that close. I can see the tread. And it's
All
definitely,
right.
it's definitely not good to you.
No, it's all right. I didn't realize you had other things to show.
Didn't you?
No.
What are you
What are we
talking
looking
about?
at? What are we looking at? What do you got? Oh,
Do you
those
wanna-
things.
Do you want to talk
Yeah.
vintage bash? Do you want to
All right.
talk Hearns exclusive? Do you want to talk about
What have we got here? What are these things?
what have we got here?
We've got some magic here.
Been a busy little beaver this week.
Yep.
Have I?
Well, Vintage Bash. What do we know about Vintage Bash? Vintage Bash is an event that is being organised by Tony Gray along with Aaron
Defina,
Defina
Louis Solar.
and Louis Solar. And that's going to be held at the Keilor track in October. Is
Yep.
that right? And,
And
it's got
there's
to do with
vintage cars,
That's it.
retro cars,
Racing
and
vintage.
cars just like this. So
what
these
year was it? Pre-2000.
Pre-2000s is the competition cars.
Yeah.
But the most iconic cars that probably ring through to a lot of people are these. These very cars are
Yeah.
probably the most iconic in Tamiya's re-release range.
Yeah.
So here we've actually been commissioned by a customer of ours.
Yep.
Who got in touch and said, "Hey, I love what you guys do. I'd love you guys to build me 4 cars, get it running, and do
Yep.
it in box art." So that's what we've managed to do. And I thought it's such a shame to do all this work and not actually show people, because a lot of people may not have seen them in box art other than the boxes.
Yes.
So they sort of span back. I mean, this is probably the most modern car. So
Yeah.
this is a Grasshopper 2 Black Edition,
Yes.
and it's got the ABS body
Yeah.
and the oil-filled CVA shocks.
Yeah. They feel good.
Which is probably realistically the most advanced car here.
Yep.
Probably the most popular or iconic would be this Hot Shot.
Yep.
This is something that really created a lot of buzz around four-wheel drive at the
It
time,
did,
didn't
in
it?
the mid-'80s, for
in
sure.
the very early to mid-'80s.
Yep.
And from this, it's So we can have a look at this a little bit closer because I want to show people the cantilever suspension.
Oh, sure.
So that
Okay.
is really cool.
Yep.
And then of course we've got the Hornet.
Yep.
Most people are very familiar with a Hornet or seen a Hornet.
A lot of
but-
people would have started off with a Hornet.
Yeah, didn't they?
Mm.
And this is my first. I haven't really got much experience building Tamiya kits, believe it or not. And having built these 4 and done these ones up, this has got the most difficult sticker kit for the most simplest car you could ever imagine. So it's quite a challenge just in the decals. The rest of it is all very, very good.
Yeah. I've got the classic frog here.
And you got the frog, which is everybody knows is very dear to my heart.
Well, we've had one of these going around the track, haven't we?
And it actually looks really cool in box art.
It does.
So there's only been one slight alteration from the box art that I've used the pearl white on that, not just the really I want to say bland, really stark PS1.
I think it works really well because it's quite subtle. You've got that slight golden pearl going through it,
adds to the sort of
but it's
retro.
still white for sure.
So it does definitely look like the box art on that.
Yeah.
So they're not meticulous concourse builds because, as everybody knows, there's just hours and hours in that alone.
Yeah.
These were built to a budget, but I think the customer will be more than very happy with
No,
them.
you've done a really good job, I think.
So let's have a look at the Hot Shot because
Have you
it's
got
got
that
some
one?
really cool features, doesn't it?
It has.
And
Yep,
they'll
it's quite-
probably never be on cars again.
Well, that's it. So it was quite stunning, all these features when it was first released.
So it has a four-wheel drive transmission. So it uses a prop shaft up one side of the car to link the rear and the front together. We've got the offset motor over here, and it does just come with a sealed 540 can Mabuchi. So it's not going to be the super powerful. I think originally they come with Technigolds or something. Didn't
What's
they? Is
that?
that right? These cars, did they wouldn't have had a sealed
No,
can?
they had the silver can.
Oh, did they? Was it
Yeah.
the Super Shots that had the
That's right.
Technigolds? Right.
So it wasn't a technical. I got corrected there. It was actually a Technipower.
Technipower.
Yeah.
So we've got that. And if we have a look on the overhead, which we're looking, can see here the front suspension, how unique it is. We've got a monoshock front end. So we've got one shock absorber that's doing all the work. You can see here when I compress both wheels how it compresses. And then if I do one, just does one side. And the springiness, or this, is coming through this torsion bar or sway bar, if you will, which is offering the spring effect on that side. And then when it both comes together, we're using the monoshock, the spring on there. So that is really cool.
But it's got one on the back as well.
And on the back, I won't take the wing off. So on the back,
let's see if I can focus
we've actually got a cantilever suspension. Where are we, Beach? Probably a little bit tight.
That's not too bad. Not too bad. There we go.
So you can see here, we've actually got this cantilever suspension here off this upper control arm, and that comes down to the point here. So you can see when I actuate this, that it both comes up. It's not a huge amount of suspension travel. That said, it's also awkward to hold.
It's quite clever how that particular linkage here works. We're just pushing one up.
And then if we just push the one up, get my finger out of the way. So that is really cool and really unique to the Hot Shot. Now that linkage comes up over here to a rocker, to the shock absorber, which is on the top here, which is sort of hidden under the wing. Where are we looking? There it is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to focus it in. How's that?
Yeah. So I can see here how it's all moving and working together.
Yep. Yeah, amazing.
So it's really cool design features. They fitted it with the retro resistor heatsinks.
Yeah, that was a very big look on the actual car, right? And
So,
they made them a bit different because these were the cylindrical ones. And they used to be just the big chunky block ones in all the other cars.
yeah. So they actually made them look pretty in this.
Yep.
But these are purely just for style and aesthetics. These machined alloys.
Yep.
Yeah, really, really cool. Just takes a Tamiya stick pack. And it is fitted up wide, and I'm assuming that it will be played with. It's got it's got a bearing kit in there.
Yep.
And it is right to go. So that is the Tamiya Hot Shot.
Yeah, how good is it?
Go to the front one.
There we go.
That is the Hot Shot. Very red, very cool, and very iconic. So I sort of blessed. I didn't feel it at the time to have the opportunity because I may never do it again, hopefully. But yeah, it's not something that I ever played with when I was younger. But yeah, I've got to, like everybody now, have a look at it. So it's got front and rear differentials.
Yep.
Dog bones. It's really cool. It looks quite robust, but I've got my reservations.
Well, I mean, it's a fairly complicated design, really, from the 80s.
It is.
Yeah.
It does have big chunky gears in there.
Yep.
But that said, it's all sort of like a bevel drive. So when you're transferring force from 90 degrees around corners and stuff, things tend to... But I'm sure that it's people probably played with these for years before they wore out or broke.
Yeah, well, most of the time these broke due to accidents.
Yeah. It's got quite long suspension arms in that for the time.
It does.
When you compare that to like the Frog, it's got like these little
little swing arms.
inch long suspension arms.
Yep.
You know, it really looks. And look at the suspension travel.
Yep.
You know, and there's no shock absorber on there.
Well, one of the selling features for the Hot Shot was having double wishbone suspension front and rear.
Well, that would have been, and the cantilever shocks, the motor shocks, really cool. I loved it. And I just wanted to bring it on and show you guys because, it's not very often we get to see these Ray-Rays built up and out of a box like that.
Because they're clever too. This is the way that they've changed the spring tension.
Preload. Show it.
So we just pull it across and we'll just move it. It's like a cam. And that's basically reduce the...
Change your ride height.
Yep.
No,
Really clever. All in one. Same with the back as well. Has
That's
the same
right.
sort of cam system built into it.
that's right. That is really cool. All right. I think this show must have gone for a while now.
It has, but we've still got to show off this and tell everyone what it is. So we've got another... Did we get another guess? Okay, so looks like something from the Blitz. Perhaps a Morris.
A Morris.
It's not, is it?
No, it's super close though.
So no one's actually guessed this one.
So we won. Did we actually win one?
Is that a win?
That's a win.
Is it a win?
I think it's a win when we win.
All right.
So it's an Austin.
Shall we have a closer look?
Yeah.
Let's have a closer look at this
Closer look.
Austin ambulance.
Now, I can't tell you what year it is because I don't know. Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, does it say on there? Let's have a look. Well, I'm
I
looking
don't
at
know.
that.
Let me just
You can look at the
focus
packet.
in on him.
And
Okay.
have a look at the details. Now, what scale is this? HO.
This is 1:76.
So that's HO,
So that's British HO.
British HO.
So if it was American HO, it'd be 1:87.
That's right. Really nice little paintwork. Really nice addition to your rail layout.
So Nottingham ambulance,
Yep.
Austin Wayfarer ambulance.
There you go. Looks like not something I'd like to travel in if I need medical intervention, but you never know.
There might be ice cream in there.
Well, be nice if there was. I could do with an ice cream.
I might have to do that.
All right. I'm getting dizzy now.
You're getting dizzy?
Yeah,
Why are you getting dizzy?
because I keep spinning this car
Oh,
around
stop
and we're
spinning
really,
around.
we're really zoomed up.
Yeah, that's no good.
Well,
All right. Let me...
No.
How's that?
well, that's all right, but everybody's seen it now.
Yeah,
Come
all
back to us. We've given it away.
Have we? All right.
We won. The little van that could.
What does that win us? Do we get ice creams?
I don't know. We can maybe we've earned ourselves an ice cream.
Probably. All right. Well, it's gone on for quite a long time. So this is similar to last week's show. We had a long show last week.
Did we?
Yeah.
But we had Soorian on, so that
Yeah,
was
it
really
was
cool.
great.
It was really good that he came on. I learned a lot about the new radio.
Yep.
Yeah. If anybody wants to see one, that'll be in between here and the racetrack most times.
Yep.
I'll have it paired up and running on everything. Yeah. Definitely check out the 10PX if you're in the market for a new radio. You
Very
will
nice.
not be disappointed.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, if it's anything like my old 4PX, and if I get 8 years use out of it faultlessly, it's worth every penny. You know, they really are. You don't know a bad day at the racetrack until you've had radio problems.
That's it.
You know,
And then we have a
really.
nice feeling radio as well.
Oh.
That's basically the interface between your actions and how your car's going to react. So
Yeah.
that's how important a really good radio is.
Yeah, and you take pride to look after it. I
Yeah.
guarantee it'll service you well. You
Yeah.
know. All right, guys.
Okay.
Thanks heaps for watching.
It's been a
And
good show.
it has been a really good
Number
show.
102.
Yep. Join us next week for number 103, funnily enough.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll run you through it again.
That's it.
I'm
All right.
Brett.
I'm BJ.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time around.
Bye bye.